Welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. George Wright III here with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. I hope you are having an amazing week. Today, I want to talk to you about learning to lean into what you fear the most. And this is from a blog that I wrote, about a year and a half ago, maybe a year ago. And I did this based on, partly in need of some of my own motivation, but I think it's something that can kind of inspire you and motivate you as well. So I want to talk to you today about leaning into your fear. And I'm going to just jump into it because it's a lot of stuff I'd like to talk to you about today. But I encourage you to take some notes. Also share this episode with those that you might feel can benefit from it, because I think there's a lot of fear going on out there right now. I mean, all of us have challenges and fear in our life that we're facing from time to time, and sometimes these fears are minor, and sometimes they can be really debilitating, right? They really put you back. Either way, we only truly grow and succeed when we face our fears. So most of us have probably heard this phrase, your success and growth is created outside your comfort zone. I know I've mentioned it a few times on this podcast. And I really love this statement because it reminds me to focus on the opportunities that are presented to me whenever a challenge or a fear is put in my path. I've experienced from time to time the success and fulfillment that's come in my life by facing fears and leaning in to what I fear the most. And, there's never been a better time to learn and act on this principle than right now, with everything going on in our economy and our marketplace and all over the world. And I know we have listeners all over the world. But I believe this can be an opportunity to learn more about ourselves, grow our success, and also create an amazing life of fulfillment and prosperity. But it's going to take some courage. You got to be bold and intentional with your actions. And so I hope the message today will sort of inspire you to do just that. I want to start by telling you a story about when I walked away from a couple $100,000 a year income. It was a really kind of scary experience. So, there's been times that I've had to face my fears in difficult situations in my life, but there's none better than this particular example that really pushed me to a new level. I was about 29 years old, and I had built a pretty successful sales team for a leading online stock education company, and I was doing really well financially. I had built a team generating me a pretty consistent residual, $250,000 a year, managing this operation. And more importantly, what really caused the fear is I was also married and had 5 kids at the time. But I had built a relationship with an individual that owned a small financial education company that was doing about, I say small, but $20 million a year in revenue with about 20 employees. And this individual had sort of presented me with the opportunity to walk away from my pretty cush job. It was pretty laid back, and become the CEO of his company. Now, I'm not sure what he saw in me. I definitely did not feel qualified for the position, but I was faced with the challenge, or more importantly, the opportunity to walk away from what I had and get outside my comfort zone, walk away from $250,000 a year income to get paid just on commission, on the profit of the business, with no salary, no guarantee. And I definitely saw the potential, but it was a thought that really terrified me. Now, I was much more aggressive and risk-taking at the time, but I had worked really hard to create the level of success I had from the ground up where I was, and I knew this new opportunity was going to take a lot of heavy lifting to jump ship and start a new deal. And I spent a lot of very stressful, thought-out days considering the offer. But I knew I wanted to go to the next level. That was the goal, much like many of you want to go to the next level. And the opportunity, appeared to be sound, but I'd have to give up a pretty solid guarantee that I had in order to take advantage of it. So to say I was scared to move would be a big understatement. But ultimately, I did choose to make the move, and I've never looked back. In hindsight, that move, like many of the things you do when you fear, is what will give you the greatest amount of experience. I got the most success, relationships, and life skills from that move. And it was a bumpy ride. I mean, there's definitely some stories I could tell you about that at another time. But we were able to grow that company from $20 million a year to over $200 million a year in collected revenue, with over 300 employees in just a 5-year short period of time, with some major offers to buy the company in. So this is a perfect example of leaning into what you fear in order to grow and succeed to your level that you're capable of. So the question I have for you is, what do you fear the most? What is it that you fear right now in your professional life? Is there an opportunity you've been considering or presented with? Or maybe a skill that you've put off learning or developing? Or is there a personal passion that you've wanted to start building a business around? Investment opportunities, all kinds of different things. Maybe you have a relationship or a family matter that you can't seem to get up the courage to start working on. Well, regardless of what the fear is that's present in your life, I can promise you that your greatest accomplishments, your best life, are waiting just beyond that particular challenge or fear. I can tell you that for certainty. See, I believe that your fear is there for a reason that will benefit you. That's a choice that I make that I think you can make as well. Maybe it's your gut telling you that you need to address it, or maybe it's your subconscious mind identifying an area that you need to learn and grow from. So don't get me wrong, I believe that fear can be real, especially in our minds. It seems really real, right? But I also believe fear is something that we create sometimes to avoid problems in our lives or to avoid the growth we need. It's like the acronym FEAR, F-E-A-R, represents false evidence or false events appearing real. Maybe another way to look at fear is to see it as an opportunity or a highlighted area where you can grow and expand your life. Either way, you were definitely meant to do great things and more than you're currently doing, because all of us can level up. So why should you start leaning into your fear? Well, listen, we can gain a lot from facing our fears, and I actually think you can make major benefits, but I'm going to give you a couple just off the top of my head. One is, it's a gateway to results, because facing your fear will give you valuable experience you can use to grow and build and learn and execute at a higher level. Remember, even failure in the face of fear carries knowledge that will improve your skills moving forward. Another reason is that you get personal growth. I mean, the fastest way to grow is to stretch yourself outside your comfort zone, and nothing represents that better than fear. Another benefit of leaning into your fear is increased fulfillment. Believe it or not, personal growth is one of the most important ways to feel more fulfillment and passion in your life, because truly living only happens when you are growing personally and professionally, and facing your fears is a way to do that. The other thing facing your fears does is it helps you to build confidence and belief. If you're feeling a lack of confidence or self-esteem or whatnot, face your fears. That experience and dealing with that experience will give you more confidence, more self-esteem, because you know that you've faced it and you accomplished things that you didn't think you could do. I can go on and on and on, but the bottom line is anything you learn from a situation can be turned into a positive. So make the decision to push into your fear. And what I want to do now is I just want to take a couple minutes. I want to help you get some ideas on how to start crushing your fears and getting and taking action, because it is all about where do I start, what do I do? And I've learned, all kinds of ways of dealing with fear and challenges in my life. And so I wrote down some empowering thoughts or techniques or disciplines that you can use, and I just want to give those to you. So hopefully you've got time, you can write these down or come back to it. The first is the idea that you can just say yes and then figure it out later. Say yes and figure out later. Most 7-figure mentors I know have adopted the idea that they act on an opportunity and then they figure it out along the way. You don't need to know everything you need to do to face your fears. Another thing is, remember, good is good enough. Taking action on your dreams and desires and opportunity is good enough. Don't wait for the confidence or wait for the plan or wait for the strategy. Confidence comes by pushing through your fears. It doesn't come before you push through your fears. And so that's something to keep in mind. Also, focus your energy. When you're leaning into your fear, you've got to create space to focus your time and energy and talent so that you can develop the skills you need to push through it. Don't multitask when you're facing through your fears. That's really super important. Another thing is, surround yourself with positive. When you're facing your fears, it can be scary, so you can build up your confidence and belief and abilities by surrounding yourself with people that have already faced their fears, or positive messaging that can benefit you because you've got belief transference and you've got a positive influence and support to face your fears. Another suggestion I have for you to crush your fears is to eliminate distractions. See, the best way to deal with your fears is to block out some time, hit them straight on. Don't get distracted by other things, doubters, or distractions of social media and things. If you have a fear, focus your energy and concentrate on making major benefits with it and progress, right? Now, ultimately, there's no magic pill or easy way to get through facing your fears. You're really the only one equipped to handle your own fears, but you are the one equipped to handle your fears. Do you see what I'm saying? If you'll just remember and adopt and adopt to the idea that everything happens for a reason and that reason is there to benefit you, then your perspective, your positive perspective will drive you through the experience and through your fears. Now, I want to give you a word of caution. I don't want you to let this happen. I've had a thought that came to me, and it's pretty simple, but this is really serious, and I want to kind of mention this to you because sometimes we fail to recognize that the opportunity or situation already present in our life is what we fear dealing with the most. Because as entrepreneurs or investors or just human beings in general, we're always looking for new opportunities. Sometimes what we don't realize is that's just an excuse not to deal with the fear that we currently have. So try not to get distracted. Try not to look for that shiny object and new opportunities just to find a way out of working on things that you're struggling with right now. Learn to face your fears head on, and you will be more empowered in your life. I know you can do it. Look, we all have greatness inside of us. I know that you've been given challenges for a reason, and that reason is to grow and develop the best version of yourself. And this is not a destination-driven objective. This is a path and a journey where you'll learn, grow, and develop along the way your whole life. So when you fall in love with the process, the path of facing your fears, then you're going to really release the need for the end result. And that's when you stop fixating on the scoreboard and you start to really enjoy life and grow. Because you're on a path that rewards the person willing to lean into their fears, and it rewards them with prosperity, personal development, happiness, growth, and I know that you can get that. Wayne Dyer, one of my favorite authors, has said when you look back on the tapestry of your life, you're going to gain a much better perspective, and the meaning and purpose of all these challenges, they'll make sense. If you think about it, some of the worst things that you've gone through, if you look back, you've probably, at a very minimum, learned some things and gained some confidence. And I really do believe the phrase from Think and Grow Rich, which is, what the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So start creating your best life today. Lean into your fear, do what you fear the most, and let's take the action and get your life really it's just an amazing level this year. That's the message I wanted to leave for you today. I hope that's something that'll help you. I'd really appreciate it if you'd share this podcast. Just share it with one person you know this week. And then send me some feedback. What is it that you're dealing with? What is it that you fear? What is it that you feel we can do here at the Daily Mastermind to support you at performing at your highest level? That's what I'd like to know. I'd love to hear from you. Hit me up on the Daily Mastermind on Instagram or Facebook, or even just message me on the Daily Mastermind mobile app, which is free. Download that and send me a message. I look forward to talking with you more. Have an amazing week. Once again, this has been the Daily Mastermind, and my name is George Wright III. Have a great night.